Alrighty, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Boyan Petreski. Today is June 28th, 2022. This is the Futures Trading Live session for today. We'll be getting started in just a few seconds. The disclaimer is there for your use and your understanding. This is for educational and instructional purposes only. Okay, if you'd like to learn more about the content that we're sharing here, you feel free to go to this link down here, tradewithufos.com/Boyan, to learn more and sign up for any of the apps, courses, or memberships that we do offer. All right, so this is the agenda for today. We're going to be looking at the current market environment. We're going to execute on those new opportunities, and we're going to manage the same based on our rules and our trade plan. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to go ahead and disable this here. Wait for TradeStation to load up. And let's go ahead and look. So this is what our climate window would look like. What are we looking for? We're looking for two things. We'd like a confirmed climate in this climate column. So we don't want to, see gray areas there. The reason why we don't, because that means that the climate is unconfirmed. Therefore, we got nothing to do there. And we'd prefer a near sensible flashing, whether it's short or long, in the direction of that climate. So as we see, we do have that on both gold and crude oil. So let's go ahead and open up those two markets right now. So we have gold on the 15 and crude oil on the 15. All right. And, as a rule of thumb, it's always a good idea to double check to make sure you are trading the front month contracts for all of these. So the first one that we'll look at is the energy. So to make sure that we're trading crude oil on the right contract, looks like we should be trading the August, so the Q. And it should be the same thing for gold, also the Q for gold. All right, let's go ahead and minimize that. So we're on the right contract for that. We're not on the right contract for crude oil. So let's go ahead and open up CLQ22 and get ourselves started and set up for some trading. Hope everybody's having a good Tuesday morning. All right, so looking at the first one here, crude oil, we are looking that we do have a confirmed up climate. We do have a UFO at 111.13 starting. However, our moving average exponential 9 EMA is giving us a 111.22, which is right where price currently is right now. So unfortunately, we don't have a trade with this UFO here. However, if price were to pop up a little bit and create a new UFO on any one of these three charts, then we're in business. We got to trade. So right now, since we don't have anything there, we're going to, looks like there's a bit of movement happening right now. So we may want to just wait for it a little bit before we move on. Okay. So far, not a whole bunch happening. So, because the market just opened, crude oil just opened, rather. Let's take a look at gold right now to see what we're up against here. Third down out of typically six. Currently, we're on the third down climate, third down 50-minute candle time section, whatever you want to call it. 1824.9, 1824.2. So that's right about here. here according to this. However, we don't have anything around those areas on gold. So let's take a look at crude oil. Seems to be moving a little bit faster. Um, Obviously popped a little bit above. However, we're not seeing anything just yet. So let's take a look, make sure we're not missing out something somewhere else. Okay, so we do have a couple of things popping up here. So the ES on the 60. So we have gold, Nasdaq's silver, the Dow, S&P, all kind of showing some higher time frame movement. So let's go ahead and open a couple of those up as well. I'll just open NQ on the 60, ES on the 60, and the Dow on the 60. Let's see what's going on. In the meantime, both gold and crude oil just kind of sitting around, not doing much. All right. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, right? Just check this. ESU, NQU, YMU22. This is already, it's on M. NQU22 and ESU 22. All right, 39,1965. Oh, that aligns with this UFO at 39,19 here. So that's good. Let's just double check that it's that one. It's a little bit higher. It's at right there. The entry is at 39.20. All right. Stop is at 39.1675. I believe. Yep. Oh, actually, one more down. 16.5. Okay. So that's that one. That's for the ES. Now let's go ahead and set up our T1 and T2. Okay, this is at the tail end of this climate, but it should still work fine. So let's go ahead and set up, 20 minus 16.5 is obviously 3.5 points, plus 20 is at 23.5, would be T1. 23.5 T1. And now T2, we're going to maximize this chart, see if there's anything above, and look at that, there is. This UFO starts at 4,675. So that's our T2. 4,675. All right. Now, if we wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, we could even go in right now at this, because there's a new UFO that formed right there. It's just, you're really skimming the line here, because you see the moving average at 39.196, and this UFO ends at 39.1975. So we're not gonna, take it, but it's fairly close to the point where. All right, so what would be nice is if price touched this UFO here and then came down, filled us, and then headed higher. That's kind of what we would like to see. That's what we would expect to see. Well, before we go 2 further down the line. Let's go ahead and take a screenshot of this. 2022 06 28. Okay, ES 60-minute setup. All right, it looks like it's coming down. You may get a fill on this. All right, in the meantime, the NASDAQ, interestingly enough, just turned into a confirmed down climate. 79 is the UFO that's nearby. Okay, looks like we're in. For the NASDAQ, we don't have anything here. However, we are filled on the ES trade. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. All right. And as we said, the stop is at 16.5. T1 is 23.5. And T2 is all the way at the 4,000s. All right, we got a couple of UFOs here that are helping us out. Plus, the climate is a confirmed up climate. The only issue I have with the climate is the fact that it is on the 8th one out of typically 8. So we have this entire hour for this trade to work. But, unfortunately, we may be at the tail end of this climate. So it is what it is, though. Our trade plan says that we got to take the trade, so we take the trade, right? Every time we don't take a trade is every time you didn't follow your plan. Okay, looks like we're seeing some positive result from those couple of UFOs there. Let's see if we can get a pop all the way to our T1, and then maybe we can move our stop and kind of track this into the open. That would be the ideal best case scenario. Looking for a link to show to you guys that I found recently, but I am unable to find it. Yep, it's not there. Oh well. Oh, that's why. So an interesting link that I found that I'm going to share with you guys in the chat box as well, right here, is this link here. It's a pretty interesting kind of overview for all futures, all commodities that you can kind of see and track and see what's going on for the day, percentages, weekly, monthly, year on year, and I just thought it looks really clean and visible to the point where you can understand, like, hey, what's going on with this market, what's going on with that market, and so on. It has everything from indexes to commodities to you name it, it's got it. So tradingeconomics.com/commodities is that link that I wanted to share with you. All right, looks like we are popping. Oh, what did I share there? Sorry, I think I shared the wrong link in the chat box, but trade economics. Trade. Pop it up again. Commodities. And here we go. Share that. There it is. Tradeeconomics.com/commodities. All right. So ES is kind of really, kind of playing with us here. So this is our candle of fill. We have one, one, two, three, and that's already into the open. So there's definitely going to be a decision on this trade, I would say, before it's time to utilize our time stop rule. Just a matter of seeing if we're going to get to that T1 or not. Meanwhile, NASDAQ kind of doing the same thing. The Dow, very similar scenario. Also kind of extended on the climate, almost the same exact scenario as the S&P. So, yeah. We got about 13 minutes till the open. Sometimes trading is a little bit like, hurry up and wait. Hurry up and get the analysis done, execute, and then just wait for it to happen. That's just the way things are. Ooh, crude, okay, went to unconfirmed, may even become may even become a confirmed down climate. We're gonna see what's going to happen there. There we go. Sorry, just making sure the phone is on do not disturb because it keeps popping up with little alerts here and there. So yeah, crude is definitely has taken a turn. S&P still kind of hovering around there somewhere. So we're gonna see, kind of hoping that we get this T1 right before the open, and then whatever happens at the open happens. If we get wicked out, we get wicked out. If it shoots up, it shoots up and hopefully gives us a new UFO. I'm hoping to catch some of that move if it is going to the upside. As of right now, though, okay, that UFO is gone on the 8-minute as well. As far as anything else, I'm not really seeing anything else. Just we got nothing else to do. Let's open up silver. I have not traded silver in who knows how long. Silver 60. All right, looks like it's like 2 ticks away from T1, the S&P. Okay, let's take a look at silver, see where silver is at. Should be on the Q as well, but sometimes nope. See, it's on the July. That's a very close second on the September. So SIU 22. SIU 22. All right. Silver is in a confirmed down climate, currently in a UFO. So we could take this right here at 23. Actually, we could even take it right here at 22. Um, stop is going to be, let's just go ahead and set this up here as well. Um, $220. Okay. Let's set this up right now. So our buy stop would need to be above 305. So 310. And T1 needs to be at 21,113, and T2 needs to be all the way down here at 2944. So 2945. Okay, so that would be the silver trade. Let's set it up. Actually, let's do that. Save 2022, 0628. This is silver 60-minute setup. Okay. Now the S&P is really kind of teasing. What is the high that it went to? The high was 2 ticks away from our T1. Of course it was, right? I mean, it's happened where it's gone a tick to T1, and that's not uncommon. It's quite okay, actually. It's quite common. 2113, and then 2945. 2945. Okay. All right. So we have a couple of trades here. Um, looks like the Dow moved a little bit higher. The S&P, moved higher from our entry, obviously, but still hasn't gotten to that T1. 6 minutes away from the open. Would have preferred to be um, filled on that T1, as it were. But, here we are. Back to the entry point there. Overextended climate, never a fun thing. But, we're going to see what's going to happen. It tested out that, previous wick up top, and then now it's just coming down a little bit. Yeah. NQ's kind of doing the same thing. The Dow is showing a little bit more strength of all three here versus the rest of them. Okay, a little bit of indecision before the open here, which is not uncommon. As you see, we keep going up and down, up and down. It's nothing unusual. Silver just kind of sitting there. I have a feeling that if this doesn't move soon, it's going to be a time stop, which for these, kind of slower moving ones, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be okay. We have to get a decision on this trade within this purple rectangle. And I'm just going to move it here because we have it open so we don't get it confused. All right, the ES testing that higher range again. Perhaps this is when it will fill. Let's just see. Come on, yes. Two ticks away again. Come on. 3.5 minutes to go to the open. You can pop that T1, give us a new UFO, and then we're in business. Right? I don't think we're asking for too much here. Given that this is on the 60, that's why we're taking our time a little bit here. But hopefully now we're gonna have a bit of a exaggerated move, on either side, so we can kind of go forward with it. So gold on the 15 is trading above the moving 15 average, above the 15 moving average, and it is a confirmed down climate still. But I'm hoping that once that recalculates in 3 minutes from now, we're gonna see that change. Dow also kind of sitting at the same place where it was. ES doing the same thing. Silver looks like it's moving a couple ticks into the right direction for us. Okay, the ES back in the 21s. All right, let's see what's gonna happen, folks. It's a little bit slower start of the day, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's quite okay. All right, so ES shooting a little bit lower here from where we got in. Silver heading the right direction. So looks like we were back in the green for a little bit on the ES and then back down. Okay, silver definitely heading in the right direction here. Moving a little bit. Close to our T1. ES showing some strength there. That's a kind of candle that we want to see. Even though it's an 8-minute candle. All right, so we should have the open here in 30 seconds. This will resolve itself really quickly. As I said, best case scenario would have been if we had this T1 and then the market opened. But of course, we can't just get what we want. It is what it is. Let's see what happens. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Off to the races. Okay. Climate's still intact because this is the hourly. Come on, yes. Give us that little small pop, couple of point pop to the upside, and that's all we need to get that T1. There we go. That's it. Okay, I'm just going to already click on this in case we have a new UFO form somewhere so we can protect it, because obviously it's one of those things where you want to be aggressive with your trail stop, especially at the open. All right. I think that has moved more than once. Oh, there's a UFO. New UFO formed at set. So we're going to put it as 1875. I guess I can just drag it here. Okay. All right. Yep. So that's moving fairly nicely. Really nicely, actually. Which is great. New UFO formed at 2275. Let's move it there. Our stop. Okay. All right. I think that's the Globex high, so we should be. There's a new UFO there. Multiple UFOs here. There's one above here, 2575. Oops, needs to be one below. 25. 5. All right. I'm tempted to close it here mainly because we have only two contracts, and I think I will. So we're looking at, it was, um, well, crap, it was 175 plus 9, I think around 920 for this ES trade. Okay, I typically don't like writing things past the Globex on just two contracts, so that's why I closed it. Obviously, it's still going, but it's just one of those things. All right, silver might be coming up to this T1 here fairly quickly. Actually, came very close to it. Right there, the low was 21 to 1.4, so it was 2 ticks away. On silver, no new UFOs. Kind of touched that area there. um, didn't quite make it. Come on, you can do it. All right, so silver. If we get this, it'll be a 450. Be a nice green day. To start my week with trading because I don't typically trade Mondays. All right, well, looks like Silva's also taking his time, but that's fine. Um, do we have anything else here? Interestingly, a sensible long on the Russell, 15-minute. So let's go ahead and open that. RTY, wow, 15-minute. What the? Okay, that was quick. Man, the Russell can move sometimes. Jeez. Because I'm looking at the ES, I'm like, nothing like this happened on the ES. So, oh, wait. Well, the NQ definitely did a massive move up like that. But, we were part of it on the S&P, but look at that. Look at that comparison. NQ 60, and here's the ES 60, right? Just staggering moves up. Now, if we had one more runner, I would have just kind of kept it there and just kept moving it with the UFOs. We didn't. We only traded with two contracts. I just didn't like the fact that we were approaching that Globex high. And typically in my plan, I have it if I have only one contract left and there's a peak like that that's a Globex, definitely close that trade. So let me see what it's looking like. Yeah, on the 15. Yeah, I mean we closed it actually well above the Globex. I just realized that, but that's okay. Yeah, we closed it well above, so we're good. All right. Yeah. So while these markets are kind of catching their mark here, uh, the Russell on the 50-minute was giving us a confirmed climate at 82. However, there are no UFOs at 82. There's one at 82.6, but the moving average is at 82. It's at right here. So nothing to do there. All right. How's our friend Silver doing? Just kind of dilly dallying, I guess. um, it's okay. We have some time. Obviously, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 candles need to pass before our time stop rule has to get executed. So, yep. Come on, Silver. Give us something here. Technically speaking, we're not supposed to be taking any trades until we have a confirmation. Oh man, did we just miss this? No. Oh my god. Yep, that's what it is. So 110.75. That's the trade there. Stop is at 11:05. Oh boy, this is. I'm gonna close this. No way. Look at that. The top is at 111.05. 111.48 up here is where the stop will have to go. Actually, would it? Yeah, I think it would. 11:05. Sorry, I kind of jumped the gun there without completely looking at everything. Um, yeah, 111.05 with a 110.70. That's just an exorbitant amount of risk. I don't want to take that trade. Is it a valid trade? Sure, um, but honestly speaking, you know, it's just too much risk, and I don't want to. You know, I don't want to take a trade that I personally wouldn't take. Would I also have jumped the gun when I'm trading on my own like that? Sure, I make mistakes all the time. Just open it, close it. Small loss is much better than a mistake loss. Full stop. So yeah, let's see. Looks like we may get a fill finally on our silver short. There it is, 450 on silver as well. So not bad, guys. Not bad at all, right? We're looking at 450 plus, I think 920 is what we got, depending on where you close it, plus the 175 from the T1, which I have to double check. Was it 175 on that T1 on the ES? It was 3.5 points, right? Times 50. Yeah, 175. Yep. Sometimes my memory serves me right. What I didn't realize though is I didn't take a screenshot of the exits. All right, so let me do that exactly. All right, save 2022 0628. Yes, 60-minute exit T1 and Globex high exit. So the total that I have on my end here is 920 plus 175. So that's 1,095. Yep, 1,095. And now we got T1 on this. Now, because obviously our T2 is kind of far, right? It's not exactly the closest. Something that is also very important to practice is you take your entry, you take your T1, right? You draw um, a line between them, and you just kind of, sorry, I keep forgetting that I have to use the trend line here. Okay, you draw this line here. You draw it. You basically just drag it down here, and you pop another line there. So at 40, if we can, all right, we can't. Sometimes these things are just so fickle. Okay, like that. So if the following happens, right? Right now, obviously, this was our entry point. We went to our T1. Great. Let's say it bounces up a little bit, maybe tests that UFO again here at 2120, and then it shoots down again, and then does something like this, right? But it does not create any new UFOs. So what you could do at this point is the following. At this point, you will take your stop, which is up here, and move it down one of these increments. So basically, move it down to break even. Maybe break even plus one tick, so you can have some, coffee money. So you participated in the market for free instead of to pay the fees for the contracts. Okay, so that's that there. Now, obviously, this was our entry. If let's say something similar happens and that line is about here, I would say, just visually speaking, let's say price just keeps falling down and it touches this line, then of course you can go ahead and move your stop here. Okay, now obviously you're giving up this entire area here, so if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then by all means just close the trade and take your money, and then that's that. But make sure to, okay, as we're speaking, okay, we have a new UFO, which is good. This is what we want to see, so it's good. At 24, let's take our stop, move it to 245 right here. Okay, so this is now definitely a profitable trade. Now it's just a matter of where will we exit with this trade with silver. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's heading lower, which is great. Uh, Touching on two UFOs there, where this first pretty substantial move happened from the 2107 to the 2135. So that's a staggering move, right? Because um, silver moves at $25 a tick, so it's not it's not a cheap market to trade in. If you want to trade it, though, I believe there are micros for silver. Um, So you could trade it with the micros. Actually, let me double check CME. I don't really trade CME micros for silver. Yep. I assume there was, but sometimes. 'Cause I just got a notice they opened up micros for heating oil just recently. I thought they always had them, honestly, but maybe there was just not enough volume. But, you know, yeah, it's all good. All right. Nice move down on silver. As I said, we do have a UFO that was created up there. So if you don't feel comfortable giving up all of this money, you know, that's fine. Just I would say if you don't feel comfortable, close it. But if it gets to T2 and I mark it here that it got to T2, you're going to be kicking yourself over and saying, wow, I wish I didn't close my trade before. Um, and sometimes, it might reverse right where you close it at. So, that's also a possibility. So sometimes we're just watching this market move, and it's a beautiful thing when it's moving our way. It's a beautiful thing when it's moving not our way, but there we go, new UFO. So we can move it down to 20, 21, 20. What? Oh my God, it's this. Okay, so it's the same UFO. 21, 240, 240, 240. So right where basically our entry was, more or less a little bit lower. It's important to see it break this area here at 2105, because that's this candle, that's the low, 21055. It's important to have to break it from here because, um, you know, if we are to see some lower movement down, that's what I'm saying is important. So, yeah. Okay. ES kind of doing the same thing there. All right, cool. Okay, now for 11 even. Okay, so this would actually not be a bad trade to get in at 110.90. So basically, we'll be going in on this UFO here, 110.88 with a stop. Okay, that's much better at 11:01. That's it. That's a much better trade than what we saw earlier, in my opinion, because it's a lot less risk and highly more probable to, you know, see that happen. Now, as far as the final target, I did not mean to do that. Final target well down below here at 107.8. I'm just gonna click that, right click, 107.8. All right, so that's quite far. Again, it's not uncommon to see this, especially lately on crude oil. It's really not uncommon to see it. Um, let's see if we'll get a fill. ES 60 still showing strength, which is great. You know, silver, okay, bounced up a little bit from there, more or less as expected. Man, I think crude oil, I wish we were watching a little bit more closely. We actually would have been filled here and would have gotten our T1. But, you can't catch them all, right? Because if we just caught it right here at basically 2 minutes ago, that would have been the wick. And we would have been entering on this UFO here a little bit more aggressively at 1083. But, it's fine. I went in with a little bit more conservative because, I just don't want to give up on the profits that we made. We already have 1,500 that we've closed in total. Um, 750 still running, so we're definitely playing with the bank's money today. But you know, it'd be nice to lock it in instead of just keep playing with it, right? All right. Yeah, it looks like we missed out on some of this crude oil movement, which is okay. There will always be next time. Think of it that way. It just sucks that this is already moving the way that we wanted it to move, but it is what it is. All right. Well, now it's just making me feel jealous. All right. I'm not going to look at it anymore. I'm going to cancel this trade because this is unfair. But then again, it's the markets, guys. It's the way it is sometimes. All right. So these are just too far. I'm just going to save them. Silver still doing this thing, which is really beautiful. ES, far from the moving average. Going to close it. Crude, just closing it out of spite. Gold, wow, gold decided to also take a downward turn. We missed on that, but I don't think we would have caught it anyway. It moved too fast. So silver's still doing this thing, still going in our direction, which is good to see. Nothing uncommon, unusual there. Okay, and the Russell on the 15, 1785. We actually don't have anything. Look at that. All right. Just kind of tracking some of these things here. So that's good. That's good. There's really nothing that was nearby. I mean, look at all of these. They're all 1 ATRs away from their price. So nothing to do there. So I think we'll call it a stop here. Just track this trade. Keep moving your stop loss. Hopefully until it hits T2, and that'll be a great, nice trade to make. And that's that, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, and also just something to look out for. If the climate changes, you're also allowed to close the trade. So definitely, check it out in a few minutes, see what happens. I would say, just kind of keep trailing this, and then, we'll go from there. Thank you so much for joining me, folks. I will catch you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.